Hey there, Goa fans. This is Mark DJ Solitaire here with episode 146 of Retro Goa Explorations, my series in which I present in each episode one of my favorite tracks from the 1990s Goa Trance psychedelic dance movement. So we have moved on as of the previous episode into the 98-99 season. So tracks that I first came across or that were released in the from the autumn of 98 through to the end of the summer of 1999. And this one is on the tail end of that. This is another track that I heard Ollie play at Solipse, the which actually ended up, in a sense, it was the first Ozora because it was on the site where the current Ozora festival takes place. Much smaller and much more, didn't have the infrastructure, which is incredible now. And it was a whole other, of course, story back then. It was pretty big and pretty amazing. And, I've talked how many times about Ollie's influence on me and how, any time I could be uh, in a position to hear him play, I was there. And so I was at the whole festival. I got sick for one night and missed an entire day. So I missed Extreme and Mark Allen and all of that. And I think that was right before, the day before Ollie's set. And I was like absolutely determined to be there. He's playing a 4 hour set. And, his preference was, doing the full shamanic thing. And he used to do that a lot in the early years where he played the entire party so he could really, really shape. I mean, he'd spent a lot of time on the dance floor uh, and experienced all of those states, in terms of where it is that what works with the light at what time and what phase of your journey and so on. But, as festivals and other kinds of events started becoming more the norm, he started working into, the 4 hour time slot, which was still not that unusual at the time. I mean, 2 hours was a minimum, quite often two and a half or three. So four was a little bit longer, but not absolutely unheard of. Whereas nowadays, these 1 hour sets and the 1.5 hours or even an hour, 15 minutes, like, what are you supposed to do? So in any case, I was determined to be there. Ollie was there in his full power, like silver alien body suit, full ET gear, not the, bright traditional fluoro space tribe stuff, but, definitely that sleek alien space wear kind of thing. And of course, I was a little bit backstage or on the stage and mostly on the dance floor because I wanted to experience it. A couple of the few times I came on stage was, I'm always leery about, when somebody major is playing, asking, when anybody's playing really, asking what a certain track was. So I always minimize that unless it's like, oh my God, I absolutely need to know what this is. And, I knew him, but not as well, of course, as I would in later years. And so this track comes on. It was just all these bleeps and amazing sounds, and of course, a super quirky, fun, and quite spiritual sample. And this is the one where he's like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?" And he's like, "Well, it's one of mine." This was so deep, a Space Tribe track that came out on an album that year. So it might have been released a little bit later, but it was in August 99 that I first heard it on Spirit Zone. So Space Tribe was releasing all of their albums on Spirit Zone. And he was, he was putting out an album a year. He was being really prolific at this point. And a few, different styles, but he was, there was a lot of light textured and playful and stuff with some good old screechy Australian wildlife kind of sounds since he was living in Australia at the time. But this one had a lot of those bleeps and blops and all kinds of fun sounds. And I mean, just really made for grooving, uh, you know, really like lower body, upper body, consciousness, emotion, the whole thing. So it's a really, really fun one. It's got a great spoken sample, which is taken from a movie that, I won't mention, but, sort of high ticket kind of animated kids movie. And it's just really, really cool. So good to include there. I mean, everybody did these things just without, there was no checking, oh, okay, is it okay to include this? And a lot of the times it was like way, way, way older stuff, as you've seen in some of these videos, with 1940s and 50s B movie, schlock that nobody could even remember. But, this one was a bit more out there in the sense of major studio movie, but very entertaining, absolutely perfect for the psychedelic experience, for really sort of putting things in context, and just a fun, super psychedelic track. So I'll put it on. We'll listen together, and then I'll let you hear it afterwards without any commentary. So let's listen to So Deep by Space Tribe. Okay, so you get those bleeps, and then you can feel that pulse with a kick, and that voice like chorus line, and then now listen to the percussive stuff here, because it really takes on some shaping, right? Just the movements there become something that's implies melody. That harmonic shift there is amazing. Great effects. Then we get those real zappy laser zap things. And again, on a big system, that's going to sound really, really different. And again, now there's a little bit more follow through with some of these riffs from the previous part. And that chorus comes back. I mean, just really natural storytelling and pacing. And then really creative break and shift. Really fun lower riff there. Really nice bounce. A lot of notes moving around. Not just a one note chugga chugga thing, which can work, but... And then there's this kind of build that's happening over here. Really wonderful. Again, the percussive stuff, some extra voices. Love the way that just fades in. This comes more to the foreground. Then listen to the shaping here. And again, like a call and answer. Brilliant. And again, I love the step in that bass line there. So all these different textures, right? And riffs, and it just really helps you sort of tune into all the different things that can be happening all at once. That's some cool, gnarly, affirmative riff there. Then it's more of those laser zaps. It was good. On the next one, there we go. Wow, a little bit on the offbeat. Groovy rhythm.
What if, like, we're just these tiny little things, and we're just, like, part of this whole other huge universe that's, like, so big we don't even know it exists?
Man, that is so deep.
So, I mean, what a psychedelic mindset kind of quote. That is just brilliant. So again, more of that, just that build and this, you know, it's just these riffs repeating that really take on this mantra-like effect, go through these really slight changes and so, right, stuff that goes up and down, stuff that has texture and it has pitch without having the note assignment on a scale. A little bit more tension with that repetition there. Voicing is quite different. Right, and then we're right back at the beginning with that. And then just notice how, like, not as many things present at this point, right? So all of this incredible storytelling, just really, really organic. Back to the laser zaps. Right, so now it continues through instead of just being little short chunks of that riff. Really love this effect. I mean, this is like something I've talked about before, where it's like this Greek chorus that's sort of standing behind and pronouncing something. Love that kick effect. Ooh, the percussive stuff continues. Right, so just again, you know, all of these shifts, none of the breaks are stops or interruptions in the musical content. It's all part of the journey. And you really feel, okay, we've done a few of those and now we're going to start heading towards the conclusion with some new content here. Love that sound. Okay, so we're getting into the final section here. And then now. Now we're gonna get a really, really cool riff here. So it's a little bit more atonal, playing around with the harmonies here. And then just all of that completely wild. We're in a computer, all my circuits are firing kind of thing. Then,
What if, like, we're just these tiny little things, and we're just, like, part of this whole other huge universe that's, like, so big we don't even know it exists?
Man, that is so deep.
I mean, jaw dropper. So fun and quirky and deep and, psychedelic. It's uplifting. It's got some mysterious stuff, but it's got so many amazing sounds. I really love all the bleepy stuff, the laser zaps, all of that textured percussive kind of stuff, harmonically, all of the different riffs, and the way there was that sort of really interesting harmonic sort of doubling up of that riff at the end there, and then just those wild, crazy bleeps that just completely throw you off. And in fact, when he played this at ZNA in 2022, I made sure to include three tracks of Ollie's. I wanted to do kind of a tribute thing. We had both been supposed to play at ZNA in 2021. And he actually died on the day that we had been going to play, and the promoter told me he was going to put us one before the other. It was going to be set up that way. So I, of course, was going to include Space Tribe tracks in my set, and started off with Geomatrix. Later on, I had Star Travelers, and then I had this one at a really, really key energy point going into the extended mix of Ring of Fire. And those bleeps threw me off so much, like I missed the cue point. And so I knew when I was going to put it, and I had it all lined up when I was going to hit the cue, and it just went off. And then it just kept on like jumping around, trying to get it like really back on the beat that I wanted it at. And those bleeps were completely throwing me off. And I could just feel Ollie kind of like, poking at me and sort of having a little bit of fun there. It wasn't any, there was nothing, there was no emergency, it still came on. It was just a little bit of a longer extension into the track than I wanted, but it was kind of funny, and it was like, wow, those bleeps really do something. So anyway, a super duper fun track, which, I have very fond memories of having heard. It was only the fourth time that I'd heard Ollie play, and it was the first time for the last time for a while. It was like about 5 years later that he came to Canada for the first time. So there we go. I'm going to sign off here and leave you now with the full track so you can listen to it without commentary and enjoy all of that psychedelic mayhem. I will add actually that this is the only one where I've managed to get the episode number and the BPM lined up so far. So last time, it was 145, episode 145, and I did a track with 142 BPM, but here we are, 146, and the BPM is 146 as well. So great alignment. Incredible track. Here you are with Space Tribe's So Deep.
don't even know it exists.
Man, that is so deep.
tiny little things. And we're just like part of this whole other huge universe that's like so big we don't even know it exists.
Man, that is so deep.